and welcome to The One Show with Matt Baker.
And Alex Jones. Now, we're going to start tonight with an interesting version of The Apprentice that you can see online.
Yes, so a clip is posted with subtitles saying what everyone is actually thinking, and they call it honest subtitles. It's kind of like this.
So we were thinking about £3.10.
That would be quite a lot lower than we would normally talk about for our groups.
Well, look, you seem pretty firm with your prices, but I'm going to try my luck again.
So, with all of that in mind, let's welcome, shall we, the Lord of the Boardroom. It's Lord Alan Sugar.
Nice
to see you, Lord Sugar.
Yes, absolutely. Now, it's been a while, Lord Sugar, since you were here last, so happy to be back in the studio.
Yeah, very pleased to be back again to inform you about the new series.
Very good. but we take it that you don't need subtitles in your boardroom because you get the measure of people quite quickly, don't you, really?
Well, I hope to, yeah, I try to. It's a frequently asked question by people that say, when you first see these people for the first time, after you start talking to them, do you recognise who the winner's going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to know the answer to that? It's no. No, it's definitely not. But what is fascinating is that as we go week by week, you've got people that you think, wow, she's great, or he's great, or whatever, and they're not so great, and his one not so great, and then suddenly they kind of come from behind,
As last year's did, which we will talk about a little bit later on. But obviously a man who's used to hiring and firing and loves his football. So can we talk about Sam Allardyce and what your thoughts are after 67 days in the job? I mean, would you have fired him?
I don't know. You put me on the spot. Didn't have a subtitle.
Yeah. Sorry.
What I'm really thinking, you horrible person for asking me that question.
Sorry. I just thought you'd have been talking about it all day.
Look, I don't know the details of it. You know, you're guided these days by what you read in the papers or what you see on the news or what he allegedly is supposed to have done. I think he himself is quite upset with himself for falling for the sting. The sting. But then again, you know, it was induced by possibly a fee, wasn't it? So why he done it, I don't know. But the FA, a bit like the BBC, very politically correct, as you know. That's why. That's why I have to be careful not to use any expletives tonight on your programme.
Very good.
Right? And of course they had no alternative but to do something about it, I suppose. Who knows? One thing I can be sure of, if he's any good as a manager at all, he'll get a job again in football, because basically the football industry don't care. The fans don't care whatever he's done, really. I mean, short of stabbing someone with a knife or slitting someone's throat, I mean, you can virtually do anything in football. They don't care. They get on with it. You know? He's a great manager. He's a great manager.
What do you say about how politically correct the FA was?
No subtitles required at all, Anyway, online security is rarely out of the news. Recently, Pippa Middleton had her photos stolen online, and it was also revealed that millions of Yahoo users had their details stolen in one of the largest cybersecurity breaches in history.
Now, of course, we are used to protecting ourselves with passwords, but could there be a better way? Well, Alex Riley has gone all high-tech on us and enlisted the help of the One Show pensioners.
Hello. Today, we are actually inside the internet. As you can see, it's an amazing virtual space with petabytes of data traversing the globe.
But to use it, you need loads of online passwords that are impossible to remember.
What's the password?
Try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6? Nope.
Surfing the internet with me today, the One Show pensioners. Their challenge? To test out the new technology that aims to banish pesky passwords forever.
Must be broadband.
It's said more than half of us use the same online password for everything.
The number one most popular is password, closely followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're never going to guess what number 3 is.
Experts reckon these passwords could soon be obsolete, but what's going to replace them? In the real world, pensioner Nora Howcroft has enlisted her friend Lindsay Farnworth to test a telephone banking system that uses voice recognition instead of passwords.
I would like to check the balance on my account.
Frank and Annie Barker give iris recognition a go.
Couldn't recognise you. Swipe up to enter PIN.
But first, Linda and Dave Caulfield get to grips with a computer that recognises your face.
Right. Here goes nothing.
Now you've turned it off.
This is a new tablet with something called Windows Hello.
I don't feel as though we're getting very far with this very fast.
Make sure you look directly at the screen.
First, it scans your face.
Won't make you look any more handsome, you know.
You've got to try, haven't you?
Get it right, and it'll sign you in without a password.
Getting ready. Looking for you. Oomph. It worked.
In future, it's claimed our faces will be all we need to do all sorts online, like shopping and paying bills.
How did you find the process of putting it on and then using it?
Very, very good. Very, very quick.
I couldn't believe how quick it was.
Yeah, it was,
you know,
it was great,
you sat in front of it and I thought, oh, this will be a long process now. It'll have to take this measurement, that measurement. Right, we're in.
Meanwhile, Nora's doing away with phone banking passwords by trialling a voice recognition system.
Welcome to Barclays. How may I help you?
Could I possibly check the balance on my account, please?
Yeah, certainly. Let me help you with that. Can I take your sort code and account number, please?
Barclays have already captured her voice print over several earlier calls. Now it's time to put it to the test. She needs her account number. That's it.
Well, Mrs. Howcroft, you have successfully passed through our voice security, so thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much.
But can it be cheated? Nora's pal Lindsay is going to try and impersonate her.
My name is Mrs. Nora Howcroft. Well, actually, I'm taking a round the world cruise and I'm just wondering if I'm going to have enough for my spending money.
Will Lindsay be able to empty Nora's account? Looks like her money's safe.
It's going back to the old-fashioned way of banking, which I loved, because you used to go into your branch, you'd speak to somebody, and it was lovely, and you could chat away. And similarly, you can do it with this method of banking. You chat away, you talk about your holidays, and whilst you're doing that, your voice is being processed through, and it's wonderful.
Frank and Annie are trying a new Lumia mobile, which lets you log on with your eyeballs.
Set up PIN 1234.
I thought you just made it up. I didn't realise you made it.
If they can stop arguing.
Click personalisation.
No, that's not it.
It is.
That's Gmail.
It's called iris scanning and uses your eye's unique patterns so you can do away with key codes and purchase apps.
Hold your phone directly in front of your eyes and make sure that both eyes are visible on the screen. There. Learning what you look like. Don't move. Move closer.
Will it recognise Annie's eyes?
It's looking for it. Oh, look! Oh, it just went in. Would you feel confident that it would be secure?
Absolutely.
And easy enough to use?
And easy to... Well, yes, because you don't have to remember numbers.
It is secure enough, certainly, but it is very limited. You cannot always get the necessary signal.
Sometimes Frank has to go down to the bottom of the garden to get a signal.
So, signal allowing, it's a thumbs up for getting rid of passwords. But what if the crooks find a way to beat the system? Changing passwords is easy. Changing our face, voice or eyeballs won't be quite so simple.
No. It is frustrating, though, remembering all those passwords. Do you often go for "you're fired 123"?
It's the bane of my life, passwords. They really are, because I've got a pet password, right?
A pet password?
Well, you know, my main one that I use a lot.
Oh, yes.
I won't tell you what it is, and it's not coming up on the screen there. And then, of course, when I go to a new vendor or a new service or new something like that, whatever it is, and it says, put your password in, and no, they won't accept that because they want an uppercase slash, comma, number, something else. So you have to think up something else. And then, of course, 6 months down the line, you can't remember which one you used. So you put your first one in, and it says wrong password. So I'll use the other one, put that in, wrong password, and you try it again, and they block you completely. Yeah. Then you've had it. Then you've got to get on the phone to some brain dead for 3 hours to try to get you back online again.
Alan, you should join that group because it would be brilliant.
Definitely.
Brilliant just to have you filming it.
No, honestly. And so what I do, seriously, honestly now, I mean, maybe because I'm a bit old now, is that I write all my passwords down on the back of my hard copy diary. I don't do the diary on the phone and all that stuff. I've got a diary, so on the first page I've got password for Netflix, password for this, password for that.
I really hope that you don't lose that diary.
They wouldn't understand it 'cause it's all in code.
Right, OK. Good.
Not that stupid. Might be old, but not that stupid.
Well, Lord Sugar, we are delighted that the new series of The Apprentice, it's just round the corner. We can't wait, can we?
No, we're very excited about it. Now, last year, it was won by plumbing entrepreneur Joseph Valenti. So he sent him back to the school he was once expelled from to inspire a whole new generation.
Last year, I beat all the odds when this happened to me.
Joseph, you are going to be my business partner.
Lord Sugar's decision to make me his apprentice was the highlight of my life so far. But it's been a long journey and one that didn't have the best of starts. I grew up here in Peterborough with my mum, dad and older sister. We weren't rich by any means, and by the time I was a teenager, life was pretty difficult at home. So the plan was school, education and a millionaire by the time I was 30. But there was one problem: school. So this used to be Stanground College. It was a little bit rough and ready, but now it's a new school. It's got a new name, Stanground Academy. I was a pupil here from 2001 to 2005, but it wasn't the happiest of times. In fact, I was expelled, so I'm a bit nervous about coming back. Wow, this is so much more different than the old Stanground College. School was a very, very hard time, you know, growing up. I had a lot going on at home. I was 13 years of age. You know, my dad left and it was a very, very rocky time. Coming to school, you know, made it even harder because I found it very, very difficult to learn in an academic environment. I used to mess about and I used to disrupt the lessons and disrupt other kids' learning, you know, and looking back, it wasn't great. One of the teachers I used to lock horns with was Mr. Scarrett. Back then, he was my German teacher, but today, he's the headmaster. This could be awkward. Hi, Mr. Scarrett, how are you doing?
Nice to see you.
Great to see you again. Yeah, I'm really good, thank you, yeah. So how bad was I?
I remember him as being a quiet lad who needed quite a bit of encouragement to get on with his work and get himself focused.
But ultimately, I was expelled from Stanground, and at that moment in time, I felt like, you know, the world was coming to an end. I was only 15 years of age. I didn't really have many options. However, what I wasn't was a quitter. So what did I do next? Luckily, a local plumber called Darren Boardman took a chance on me and showed me the ropes of my trade. In fact, I was his apprentice before I was Lord Sugar's apprentice.
I took a bit of a gamble, if I'm being honest, but you could see from the early age that you had the right mentality and you had the drive, and I always knew you'd succeed.
Really appreciate everything you did for me, you know, and you got me started on my plumbing journey.
You've done really well.
Getting into plumbing may have given me the calling that school never did, but it was still tough with limited education. I started to realise that maybe I'd missed out by not listening to those who wanted to teach me. And then when I was 22, my mum bought me the book that would change my life. It was a huge inspiration to me. I read it from cover to cover, 3 weeks relentlessly, took out a loan for £15,000 and started my own business. I was able to secure 2 vital contracts with 2 property management companies. My dream had taken off, and it's this small company that billionaire Lord Sugar has now invested in. Not bad for a kid expelled from school. And now I'm going to talk to some of the students at my old school. Hopefully, I can pass on some of the lessons that will help them in their lives, even if it's not to make the same mistakes as me. I use 3 things in life. What you do is you start and you create something. You then need to maintain it and then continue to grow. A lot of young people think and they rely on parents, teachers, etc. to get them somewhere, but if I'm honest with you, you are all quite young at the moment, but it does all start with you. But there was one question at the front of the students' minds.
What did your parents say when you got kicked out from school?
I remember my mum saying to me, you know, what are you going to do now? Like, I'm really, really disappointed in you. And I turned to my mum that day and I looked at her and I said to her, you know, don't worry, Mum, I'm gonna be successful. I promise you. I don't quite know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And life's got a strange way of working out for you. For me, it's being a millionaire. But to be honest with you, after winning The Apprentice and doing what I'm doing, that changed quite quickly, because now I want to become a billionaire by the time I'm 40, so I've got that next goal.
So we heard what the pupils' question was. I'm sure our viewers are wondering, how's the relationship going? How's the business going?
Yeah, it's going very well. Like, I mean, all the apprentices, when they kick off, they come into kind of like my mentoring zone. It's not just me, but it's a lot of accountants and people like that jump on them, so to speak. And it's quite common when you start a new business that in the first couple of months or so, there's a lot of teething problems, and it's been the same for all the other winners. So he's going to be all right. He's doing okay. He's doing okay, and as are all the other winners and business partners. Yeah.
Well, you've got 18 brand new ones here. Let's just talk about Jessica a minute, because she is a bit manic, isn't she? She compares herself to Jim Carrey, which is a bit bizarre. But I think underneath that there's a lot more going on, that it's a bit of an act. What do you think?
Well, look, there's 18 candidates. When I first met her, and you'll see in the first episode, she gets a bit excited, and that's basically because she's nervous, right? And I don't know why one would be nervous sitting in front of me.
No idea.
I can't for the life of me understand, really.
No.
You've just met me for the first time, and why should they be nervous? But anyway, and some people are very strange in how they react, the nervousness. Some just sit there dead quiet, and others do what she does, and she's a little bit highly strung, but she's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be good.
Now, there is a candidate who likes to wear mascara and bat their eyelashes at you, and this is Dylan. So Dylan, he compares himself to a diamond. Sparkles when you walk into a room, but you can cut yourself on him if you're not careful.
Will batting the eyelashes wash with you, though, Sir Alan?
Not with him. No, it might have been 10, 15, 20 years ago if it was one of the women, but not Dylan, bless him.
No?
But, anyway, he's a nice chap. He's a very nice chap, and I think perhaps he runs himself down a little bit talking about cutting people as a diamond. I don't think he means
it's the slow.
it.
I mean, that to me, I love that moment at the start of the programme where they all come up with what they compare themselves to.
Little catchphrases. Well, I tell you what, should we have a look at this week's task, the first one?
All right,
Here it is.
The sort of starting price?
I'd be thinking about 250, 300 for the set.
Is that a deal?
That's a deal on that.
Brilliant. Well done. And if you could cash?
I haven't got the authority to give you the cash today. I'll have to speak to head office.
Okay.
And obviously, you know, we go back to you on that.
I'm afraid not. If you can't get the cash today, the items are not sold.
Anyway.
There's not, I'm afraid.
Really unfortunate.
Unfortunate, to say the least. I love him. The sausage king.
Yeah, Cumberland sausages he makes. Yeah, very good.
So how does this fit into your life, Lord Sugar? I mean, what time do you have to start in the morning to do all of this? Because obviously you've got
obviously this is a period of time when we film the thing, and that's quite an intense period throughout the 12 weeks of the filming. To be fair, I'm not there all day long in every week. Poor old Claude and Karen are, you know, they're following them around. But I think it's after the show, which is a lot of people underestimate what goes on there.
Yeah.
Because as far as the BBC and everybody else is concerned, the entertainment is over after episode 12. That person's the winner, this person's the winner, that's it. Then the real work starts. Take, for example, Joseph there.
Yeah.
You know, so what we do is we meet with them once a month. We go over, you know, we have a board meeting, basically. We have a board meeting once a month with all the winners, together with my team of people, and we go through and monitor what they're up to. Yeah. And every so often they call on Lord Sugar. Would you mind sending an email to one of my customers and tell them to get lost or get
you do
get the heavy mob in
or do something. You know.
Well, we can see how all 18 candidates get on with the new series of The Apprentice. It starts next Thursday. It's on at 9 o'clock on BBC One.
Now, Lord Sugar's former colleague Margaret recently confessed that she refused to have her hair shampooed by someone with tattoos at a salon and says that they hamper a young person's employment prospects.
I'm not sure that was the footage from the shampooing incident there. But anyway, recent research has shown that employers could be missing out on talented workers by not employing people who have tattoos.
So Angelica's been to get under the skin of the issue.
So are people still turned off by tattoos? Well, I've enlisted the help of some inked friends to see what the public and employers really think.
Certainly in some professions, it probably wouldn't come across professional. But, as I'm always telling my children, don't judge a book by its cover.
Do you think it's inappropriate in some jobs to have so many tattoos on children?
Maybe like nursery teaching, but even that's like, it's down to your perception of the tattoos. You know, children love tattoos, you know, they get the little transfers on themselves and look how cool I am.
Maybe a doctor or a dentist. I do have a tattoo myself.
Do you?
But it is a small one, but I think it might be off-putting.
Is there any profession that you think, no, this is not appropriate?
Probably not medical profession.
So if your doctor had tattoos on their hands, look at this, look at Poppy's hand, would you be inclined to ask for somebody else to...
Oh, no. It's okay if they're covered up.
You know, how would you feel about employing someone with tattoos?
I don't have a problem with that at all. If they could do the job, it's fine. I've got staff here that don't have tattoos.
Okay, well, what's interesting, Matt, is that you've got your tattoos covered up.
Yeah.
Was that a conscious decision?
I'm a customer-facing role, so they wouldn't want to speak to someone about their financial affairs with someone with tattoos all over their body. Maybe they wouldn't trust my decisions, so...
I have no problem at all with them. I think they bring out people's personality.
Do you have tattoos?
Yeah.
Oh, really? What's so funny?
Nothing.
Where are they?
That'd be telling.
It's never really been a problem.
Okay, does it come into your mind thinking that maybe that if you have more tattoos, it might affect where you work in the future?
For me, I want to work in places where tattoos are acceptable and they are okay.
The police force are starting to accept tattoos. I think that says a lot, really.
It was quite shocking to see that you have got this role and you've got tattoos all over your arms. Was it a problem when you went to get your job?
No, it wasn't a problem for the simple fact of everything I've got's nothing offensive. It's just something personal to me, but it's not upsetting anyone, it's not offending anyone. I mean, sometimes you get a few cases they look at you a little bit funny, especially of an older generation.
Well, James got tattoos on his neck. Do you think that would have been a problem when you went for your interview?
Maybe, but at the same time, I've always been quite curious to know what it feels like on the neck, I'm not going to lie.
So you would still possibly have one even in the job you're in?
If I think I could get away with it.
Well, Lucy is with us now. So we heard what the viewers thought.
Yes.
What do the experts say then?
Well, let's start with some stats. Thank you. Estimates suggest that UK households, 40% of UK households now contain someone who has a tattoo.
Really?
Yes. It's a huge number, and they are likely to be very young. So let's call them millennials.
Anybody in your household? Lord Sugar?
No.
Millennials or
Well,
people
no,
with
anybody
tattoos?
with a tattoo. Not yet, you say. Dr. Andrew Timming from St Andrews University has done some very interesting research. So he calls this growing number, he said it's a demographic tidal wave. Now, instead of doing research as people usually do, saying, you know, why don't people like employing these people who have tattoos, he's looked at it from the other side. He's asked, is there an advantage to some businesses to employing people with visible body art? And the answer is yes, there is. Now, there's logic here. Stay with me. There's logic here. We know that we like to buy from people who look like us. We've got this growing audience of millennials who many brands think of as the golden, the golden opportunity. All these young people, they're fine with tattoos. They like to be served in clubs and restaurants by people who have tattoos as well. And there's also a slight edginess for some brands who like to be countercultural. Now, one pub chain that Dr. Timming spoke to actually reward their staff and incentivise them by paying for tattoos if they do really well. And Dr. Timming says in 20 years' time, arguing about this will be as old hat as arguing about women wearing trousers.
Really?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm fascinated. Absolutely fascinated.
But I mean, there is that argument.
You've made my day.
But Lord Sugar, I mean,
I'm
they do
so
act a
pleased I'm
character.
informed about it. Who's come up with all this stuff?
Dr. Timming.
Oh, Dr. Timmy, right. OK. Does he do the flu also and things like that and sore throats?
I mean, in a creative environment, they add to character. Would you ever? employ anyone with a visible
look,
tattoo?
First of all, one has to be awfully careful about saying why you're not going to employ someone and why you won't. So the fact is that if someone came into my office as the receptionist of one of my tower blocks to be sitting in the reception in a beautiful marble place, and her whole face is tattooed from top to bottom, you can imagine that. Well, I would have to say, well, psychologically, one of your little punchlines there, what you're thinking, you know, as there's just, could you come back next week? We'll think about it. But I mean, men, for example, that come to work, we've got suits on, so they're covered up. Ladies, I don't know.
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
We will.
I can't comment.
Now, we know, though, that you love the bake-off, and this week is Botanical Week, see, and they're going to have to use edible flowers in their cakes.
But before you're inspired to rush out into the garden and eat what's left of your herbaceous borders, here's Ricky.
Sales of sieves and demand for double cream can shoot up when the Great British Bake Off's on.
It's not the first time a TV programme has influenced what we buy in the supermarkets.
First of all, I'm going to give them some seasoning of freshly milled pepper.
The power of cookery shows to shape our buying habits took off with Delia Smith. The Delia effect is credited with sparking many an ingredients boom, including, in 1998, a rise of egg sales of 10%.
We do find a real effect of celebrities featuring a specific ingredient or a product or a recipe, and sales shoot up, whether that's Jamie Nigella, again, is another classic with her goose fat and roast potatoes, Delia and cranberries. Customers feel inspired by the chefs and they want to buy those products in store.
So how instant can it be?
It's absolutely instant. We actually know that on a Wednesday evening between 7 and 9 we have the highest number of customers viewing our website for bakery ingredients, and that obviously is when the Great British Bake Off is on.
Last summer, after the biscuit episode, Waitrose reported that sales of ground and flaked almonds more than doubled, whilst crystallised ginger tripled. So what will the Star Baker's star ingredient be this year?
Actually, you don't need to come in here at all. One of the most popular ingredients can be found right here in your garden.
Tonight's episode has a botanical theme, so I'm wondering what edible flowers are like to cook with. Jan Billington has been growing nasturtiums in Devon for 15 years.
The nasturtium is probably the easiest and most versatile of all of the edible flowers to grow. The meaner you treat a nasturtium, the more flowers you'll get. So if you had them in less fertile soil, you'd end up with a lot more flowers and a lot less leaves.
So if you're not a great gardener, they're a great one to grow.
Perfect.
Just chuck them in and forget about them.
Also, perfect in a pot on the patio as well. They self-seed readily, so once you've grown them once, you'll have them in your garden the next year. Perfect plant.
It's great that anyone can grow them, but how good are they to eat?
The great thing about it is you can eat pretty much all parts of the flowers. The flowers have a lovely, spicy, rocket-like flavour.
Jan uses the flowers to make a cordial and a vinegar. The flowers and seeds to make some bread and a colourful salad.
So what are we going to do next?
Right, now we're going to make some pesto. So we're going to start by chopping a little bit of the garlic, big handful of nasturtium, leaves and flowers.
Now, I love a good pesto, but I can't believe anything can beat basil as the key ingredient. So will Jan persuade me?
Very, very, very good. And that pesto is so lovely, peppery, floury. It's just so nice, so different. Why would you use basil? Cheers.
Cheers.
Will nasturtiums be the next biggest thing in baking? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Where it's fair to say the Ricky effect probably hasn't got as much pull as the Bake Off effect, they definitely get the thumbs up from me. Lovely.
Well, we hope you enjoyed tonight's Bake Off episode, but that's all we've got time for.
Yes, thank you very much, Lord Sugar. We'll be back tomorrow with Dara O'Brien. See you then. Bye.
Bye-bye.